Well, TGIF, everybody, here we are. It is Friday, March 3rd, and normally you'd see me sitting here in my kitchen or standing in my kitchen getting ready to prepare a meal. But it's Friday night, and guess what? It's leftover night at my house, and nobody wants to watch that. So I thought, what am I going to talk about today? Gee, I don't know. And then I thought, wait a minute, it's Friday. And there's something really happy about Friday, because on Friday, Mama Kahn opens up a bottle of wine. Today, Mama Kahn decided to open up, this is called Hot Ticket. It's a Shiraz from southeastern Australia. It's a 2020 vintage, and it's from the Traveling Vineyard. If you're not familiar with Traveling Vineyard, that is a direct sales company. They come to your house, they bring 5 bottles of wine, they bring the wine, the tasting, you bring the friends. You decide if you want to buy some wine from them. Everybody has a great time. So if you're interested, I know a girl. This is not an ad for them, just letting you know. I mean, I am a consumer of their wine. So I decided to open this up tonight. I had it in my wine fridge, so I had to bring it out and I had to let it warm up a little bit. And I thought, well, you know what? Tonight, let's talk about how do we taste wine. You want to go out? We have a lot of great vineyards in the area. So I want to show you, if you're not familiar, how to taste wine kind of like a pro. Not that I am a pro, but I've got quite a few years of experience. So number one is, first of all, a little bit about Shiraz, or Syrah, we call it in the United States. There are 459,000 acres of Shiraz or Syrah planted throughout the world. Okay, a Shiraz is a bold red. So a bold red should have a room temperature of 60 to 68 degrees. When they talk about room temperature, your red wine should be room temperature, they mean it's the room temperature of a cave. Okay, since none of us live in caves, it's going to be 60 to 68 degrees. So I had to let this sit out for a little bit. Okay, so now how do we taste wine? Well, first we're going to pour it in here. And the first thing that we want to do is that we want to angle our glass up against a piece of white paper, like so. You're going to angle the glass like this. And what you're going to be able to do when you do that is you're going to be able to see the color. Now, as I look at this, I see that this is a really dark purpley color. When I get to the edges, it gets a little clearer, but it's pretty uniform throughout. It is opaque. It's not cloudy. It's actually a really, really pretty wine. So we've looked at it, and if I was taking notes, I would write those down in my tasting notes, what it looked like. Then we want to give it a good swirl. Okay, we do that. You want to really swirl it around. Okay, and then we want to watch, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, probably not, but there will be what we call either legs or tears that come down the edge of the glass. And what that tells us when we look at those legs, it's not going to tell you whether it's good wine or it's bad wine. It's going to tell you how much alcohol's in the wine. If the legs or the tears run really fast, that's a low alcohol wine. If they really dawdle, that it's high alcohol. This one is kind of a medium. It's not fast, but it's not as slow as I've ever seen. That's because this is a medium high wine, or alcohol by volume percentage of wine. It's at 13.8, so it's getting up there. You're going to notice when you take a sip, you're going to feel the alcohol in this as heat in the back of your throat. So we've done all that. Now we're going to swirl some more. And first of all, you're going to take a little sip just to kind of prepare your olfactory senses for what's coming. So I'm going to swirl it up, and you're going to stick your nose in a glass and take a nice big sniff. And what you're going to be looking for is, what am I smelling? Am I smelling fruit? Am I smelling grass? Am I smelling tobacco? One of the things sometimes you smell in some white wines is they call it cat pee. That's a good thing. Okay. But on this one, when I swirl it, and when you swirl, I like to really get my nose in there and take different sniffs throughout, you know, around the different areas of the rim, because you're going to notice different scents and different smells. And sometimes it's hard for you to, like, you know you smell something, but you can't identify what that smell is. And that comes with really starting to pay more attention when you're eating how things smell. What an apple smells like, what a green apple smells like, as opposed to what a Honeycrisp apple smells like, what a lemon smells like, as opposed to what a lime smells like. You know, you really have to start smelling your food so that you can start storing it away so that you can identify what you're tasting. But when I swirl this, some of the things that I smell blueberry and I smell plum. That's my daughter Kim behind me. Thanks for walking through the frame, sweetie. Oddly enough, I smell some milk chocolate, a little bit of tobacco, and some green peppercorn. So those are just some of the smells that I'm getting. And I would make a note of that. One of the other things, well, let's get now to tasting, okay? So the first thing you want to do is take a little sip and swallow. The reason why you're doing that is because you're just going to taste the alcohol. This has the higher alcohol content. I can feel that at the back of my throat. It's not too much, so it's not out of balance with everything else, but you'll feel it because it's right back there. So then after you've done that, now we're going to what I call slurp the wine. We're going to take a sip and we're going to add some air to it in our mouth, kind of swish it around, and then we're going to swallow so that you can start to see what you taste. So you'll definitely get that heat at the back of your throat. And I can taste the fruit. It's pretty fruit forward. And now with the Shiraz, what it does is it has an attack that hits you early because it's a big, bold wine. And then its finish, it's a medium finish. It's not real long, but you'll continue. If you go like this, like I can taste chocolate back there, and there's a spiciness to this, you know. So you want to make notes of all of that, and you want to notice where it hits in your mouth. If it's a sweeter wine, you're going to notice it at the front of your mouth. This is an acidic wine. How do I know that? It makes my mouth water. So that's how I know it's acidic. It's not a bad thing. That's just the way that it is. One of the other things we talk about with wine is whether or not it's tannic. Now, tannins are, it's a compound that comes from the skins and the stems and the seeds when they crush. It's the woody stuff. And if you're a tea drinker, you know what it's like to have something tannic, because tea is very tannic. It dries out your mouth. So tannin isn't something you taste, it's something that you feel. This is not particularly tannic. It doesn't dry out your mouth, but it does have higher alcohol content, and you can feel that at the back of your throat. So there you go. That's how you taste wine like a pro. So I really hope that everybody has an awesome weekend. Salud, my friends. Till I see you next time. Here's coming from Mama Kahn's Kitchen. Bye-bye.